everyone. Sorry about that. A little bit of a issue going on here at the moment, but we got it taken care of. Welcome to the Fresh Takes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Paul Russo. Across from me, as always, is the man, the myth. He's giving me a really creepy bug eye deal right now. It's kind of creeping me out. Nick Felice. Nick, how you doing today, bud?
Not too bad, Paul. Thanks for having me on this show.
Well, it's always good to have you here because, well, you are indeed one of the co-hosts.
Yes, I am. That's why they pay me the big bucks. But, should be a pretty good show today, don't you think, Paul?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun, interesting show. We have a little bit of a different camera deal going on today, so we're going to try and get through
what's the deal?
that. Well, my usual camera that I usually have in front of me is not here at the moment. It's on the DL, I believe, and so
we're not going to have that good shot.
We're not going to have a really great. Not going to have a split screen. It's going to be interesting, but we got pretty much everything else the same, except when it comes to this here in a quick second, where we preview our topics. So without further ado, we'll jump into that, and it's just me. So we'll get through this really quick. We're going to discuss.
Now that I think about it, Paul.
Yeah.
Are you always on the right side?
No, I'm usually on the left.
I always felt like it, but I never know.
I'm on screen left. So yeah.
Luckily, there's not that many topics today, so you know.
Yeah, there's not a ton, but there's going to be a lot to talk about with
you got
both,
the date,
obviously.
Right?
We got Anthony Davis. Obviously, we're going to discuss that, and then we're going to be jumping in right into our Super Bowl spectacular. Everything that you need to know, all the ridiculous prop bets, key things to look at in the game. Hopefully, we'll have a solidified line-ish, but that's obviously going to change for you guys probably. And obviously our picks.
I'm still here, by the way.
Some fun stuff. Nick is still here. Do not be alarmed. But, with that in mind, though, it was really cool last week. We got our first call in through the messaging system, and that was cool.
And I am aware now it is not a hot girl, it is your mom.
Thanks, Nick. And but yeah, so we will be we're going to keep plugging that. We don't have any calls this week, unfortunately, but we have a fun weekend coming up ahead of us in the sports world with the Super Bowl. Who knows what's going to happen with, obviously, Anthony Davis in the next week when we're out. Harper and Machado still haven't signed yet. A lot of indications, a lot of conspiracy theories going on there. I don't know if you saw Nick with bats with Bryce Harper.
I did not.
But he's got Philadelphia Philly-inspired bats. Call in. We want your take on that. We want your thoughts on that type of stuff. So 866-315-3591, extension 804. We're the Fresh Takes podcast. Seriously, call us in. It's an awesome feature. We can't say that enough, and we really look forward to hopefully hearing from you guys more often about it. Anything, Nick?
Oh, yeah, just call.
All right. With that in mind, we'll jump right into the first topic, Anthony Davis.
I'm still here, by the way.
He is. Don't you worry, Nick. Anthony Davis requested a trade from the New Orleans Pelicans.
Anthony Davis is who?
He is the brow. He's obviously, in my opinion, a top 5 player in the league. If he was on a better team, he's probably an all-the-time MVP candidate, probably number 1 in the league discussion. He has requested a trade. His agent, Rich Paul, who is part of LeBron's group. It's a lot of different stuff to be had there, but he's requested a trade. Still under contract with the Pelicans through the end of next season. Does not plan to sign an extension with them. So a lot to be had here. A lot of interesting things, obviously, going on. We'll jump right into it. I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. So when you saw this, Nick, what was your initial thought on it? Because mine was, it wasn't so much of a shock, but you still have the Pelicans technically in the fight for the 8th seed out west. Maybe not so much now, obviously, but they're still in contention technically, and so it's certainly an interesting deal going on.
So when I first heard the news, our buddy Justin, who is going to be on the show next week with your brother, Pat.
He said he'd be on this week. And that
Big House next week. Stay tuned. So when I first heard the news, we got that in our group message. I got the text. I was out running. Yes, I run. Not a lot. I'm starting off slow, but I'm running.
You really picked a fantastic day to start with it, too.
Yes, it wasn't too bad yesterday. I got out there today.
Still, though.
Running 0.7. Sometimes maybe the 1 mile. But when I got the message, he started calling me. I don't have time to call while I'm running. I hear AD, and then I see you say something about the Knicks with the eye emojis. Not just 1, 3 eye emojis. So this is a big deal. Anthony Davis to the Knicks. The Knicks are my favorite team. They are located in New York City. And if Anthony Davis comes to the Knicks, this changes around everything that we have worked for this season, because that pick that we will have, the first rounder for next year, will probably be in the deal. Right now, if the Cavs, they were winning, I don't know if they won, but if they win tonight, we will be the worst team in the win column in the NBA, which is a great chance at Mr. Williamson in Duke. Or Ja Morant, whatever the name is, over in Murray State. A lot of people don't know him. Look him up. Give him a Google. But Anthony, what am I talking about here? Anthony Davis.
You went down a rabbit hole for
Anthony Davis. We should trade that pick for Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Give him Knox. Give him Frank. Give him Courtney. Do it. Canner. He wants to go. Give it. But I also, if we want to keep that pick, I would do, dare I say it, trade KP for Anthony Davis straight up.
Interesting.
New Orleans probably won't want to do that.
No, interesting mention there. We'll start there then with it. So, Cooley's feature on ESPN, they have the trade machine. I more recommend you don't pay any notice to the green bars when I pull it up really quick, because there's some other stuff you can tweak that you can't really tweak on here that I don't know of anyway. So I'll start with the Knicks. For the Knicks, I came up with this, and I think it's what they kind of want to base the trade on a little bit. So this is what I got.
Ooh.
I got Anthony Davis, obviously going to the Knicks, and the two key pieces, in my opinion, will be Enes Kanter and Kevin Knox. The Knicks have kind of made it known here in the past 10 days that Kanter's definitely on the block. And then obviously Kevin Knox is probably going to be the main young piece that the Pels want in the deal for Davis. Obviously you can't really, I don't think you can throw in the picks on here. Kind of a little bit crunch for time, but
the trade was successful. Folks.
The trade was successful. The main thing though is with the other trades that I came up for the other main teams in the deal here is I got a couple red bars on 2 of them. Obviously things can get switched around. There's another key piece in that as well. So Nick, you kind of alluded to it, but are you fine if say Enes Kanter and Kevin Knox were probably the two main pieces along with that pick to go?
Kanter, Knox, and the pick.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I'll do it. For Anthony Davis, you mentioned that he's a top 5 player. I think he's a top 3 player, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
If LeBron leaves, he's top 2. What's that mean? LeBron's in the top 3. Anthony Davis is the best center in the game. That man can shoot as well. I mean, if you put him in there, KP, maybe get Kyrie in the offseason. Could be looking at a different but better Knicks team. Obviously, better Knicks team, but yeah, I do it, Paul.
All right. So
that was a long answer. I do it.
So you mentioned it a little bit there about LeBron. So that's where we'll go with the next team here, the Lakers. They're there are two main teams in this deal, I think, in my opinion, at least, from the naked eye, being the Lakers and the Celtics. The Knicks, obviously, I think, have a better shot than a lot of people realize in this deal. But the Lakers, obviously, I kind of alluded to with Rich Paul and LeBron, but this is something that's been brewing really, especially since the start of the year, with LeBron saying, I'd love to play with AD. So now we're here. And so the trade that I got for the Lakers, now this has been red tagged as a fail because of salaries, but I think this is probably about the main area that the Pelicans are focusing on and that the Lakers are focusing on as well. So we have Anthony Davis obviously going with Lakers. Pelicans get Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and Zubac in the deal.
With picks.
There'd be picks. There'd probably also be a third team involved. Lonzo Ball doesn't want to play in New Orleans. Also with the Lakers, there'd have to be a third team involved because of
and this trade failed.
The cap deal, yeah, because there's not enough salary to be thrown around. So this trade technically failed, but this is, like I said, the main purpose of what I want to do with these is show you what will probably be the base of what is needed to get the trade done. So, Nick, what do you think about that deal for the Lakers?
Honestly, I don't think the Lakers have given up enough. Kuzma, Ball, Zubac, whatever the name is. They're not. They're like good players, but they're just not. They're not players that can turn around a franchise. I mean, they're not even like Lonzo Ball, solid player. Probably can't really play well with LeBron because both of them need the ball in the hand. No pun. I don't know if that's a pun. Ball needs the ball in his hand. But I think they need to get another team involved, obviously, because that third team needs to give more to the Pelicans because I don't think the Pelicans are getting enough. The Pelicans want more for Anthony Davis. And Lakers don't have the pick that the Knicks have. The Pelicans would love to get into the Zion Williamson sweepstakes. And the Knicks have that. The Lakers don't. Yeah, they have Kuzma. I mean, what do you think of Kuzma? Top 50 player?
I like Kuzma. Probably. I kind of think so a little bit.
I disagree.
I mean, it's tough. You have to really honestly think about going that deep, I think, in my opinion, in any league, saying top 50. But Kuzma's really good. People tend to this year overlook him. He came on hot to the scene last year, and people overlook him this year, and it should be interesting whether he gets traded or not, the role that he plays down the stretch for the Lakers. Yeah, a lot of people, I don't know how the third deal kind of gets done, a third team kind of gets winged into that. You kind of wonder what teams need to move salary and whatever. My beloved Miami Heat, they're kind of one of them. They got a couple contracts there with Hassan Whiteside and Goran Dragic that are a lot of people are questioning a little bit, what they're going to do, especially with Dragic when he's fully healthy, with how well Winslow's come on playing point guard. And some people are trying to float around as in all these camps. Would the Lakers want Goran and the Heat take Lonzo? I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if I necessarily want it to happen either, but...
Is that an upgrade with the Heat?
Would that be an upgrade?
Yes.
Salary-wise, yeah, it allows us to do a little bit more this offseason. You may not get, a Durant or a Kawhi, but it allows you to get a really good piece in, and they have draft picks this year, so that will help. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because the Heat are kind of in a lose-lose spot right now, just given they're kind of fluttering. They'll probably sink in at about the 6th seed again and whatever, but I think they'll be buyers here, but I don't know if they're the right fit for a third team in this deal. That will be interesting to see. Let's.
Did you have a deal that how the Heat could get to Anthony Davis?
No, I did not. I
know they're not really in the news, but yeah, maybe.
No, I didn't have one. I don't think. I can't think of any way any players, first off, that the Pelicans could want from the Heat. And nothing seemed to match up in my mind either about that, so I kind of left them off.
Heat are in a weird spot.
Yeah, we certainly are. So, speaking of weird spots, the Boston Celtics are the other main team in this.
The Boston Celtics, they need a superstar.
Speaking of superstars, I think a lot of people who know basketball at this point kind of know, so I'll pull up the trade that we got here. We have Anthony Davis going to Boston, obviously. In the deal, Kyrie Irving has to go to New Orleans. That is his rights in his contract. It will be pretty interesting, in my opinion, here. Jason Tatum tends to be the name that they're floating around. That will be the younger piece in this deal. I think preferably the Pelicans would want to get Jaylen Brown if they can. However, that puts them over cap space. Should be interesting to kind of see.
Kyrie's a free agent at the end of the year, right?
Kyrie, no. Well, he is because of options and all that type of deal. Which every indication, in my opinion, he probably will exercise. It's not been a fruitful endeavor, I think, this year for either side. So I'll throw it back over to you, Nick, on this deal.
Now, the Celtics have more to offer than the Lakers. Because they can offer a Jason Tatum. I mean, I'm not hating on Kuzma, but Jason Tatum's a better player than Kuzma. I'd rather have Jason Tatum on my team than Kuzma. Build him around. Build the team around him. Kyrie, you throw him in, he's not going to stay anyway. He gets traded. That just shows he's leaving wherever he is. It would be funny, though, if the Celtics did trade Kyrie after they were all high on Isaiah. They traded him, Isaiah Thomas speaking. So, I mean, it's just like they get these guys that want to play for the Celtics, and yet they trade them because they want better players. And they need better players because the Celtics, if they don't get better players, they're never going to the finals. And I think the Celtics could do something here. Do I want the Celtics to do something? Hell no. I don't want the Celtics to do something. I'm a Knicks fan. I don't like the Celtics. I don't like the Sixers. And I don't like whatever team LeBron's on. That's it. Warriors, don't bother me. Those three teams, just can't root for. I just despise. But I think the Celtics can do something. Want the Knicks to jump in there. You know the Knicks ain't going to do it because of past history. They've screwed it up. You know, if they do something crazy like trade the next 3 first-rounders for Anthony Davis, they're going to do another dumb move, and we're going to be screwed for another 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 30 years. It's bad, but I think the Celtics should pull the trigger. They need a superstar because they don't have a superstar. Kyrie's a star, not a superstar. If he decides to stay, that's fine. He's a star. Gordon Hayward thought he was a star. He's kind of dropped down a little bit. Jason Tatum, potentially a star. Potentially hot, rare potentially superstar. He's potentially a star. Right now they only have one star, and that's Kyrie, and they have a bunch of nice role players around him. Need this superstar. Pull the trigger. Get Anthony Davis here for the Boston Celtics. But as a New York Knicks fans, don't do it.
Yeah, so obviously the Knicks are in the play on a bunch of different scales for later on in the year. So this is the part where, you kind of don't realize how good some teams are doing this year, maybe potentially. And one team that's kind of emerged, and I'm kind of with it, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, obviously, I don't think Anthony Davis would stay there beyond this year. So here's the deal with the Bucks that I got.
Okay.
Obviously, it says it's fail. It fails, but...
Well, no shit. Why would they take Milton and Thon Maker? Come on, Paul. You're the GM of the Bucks here. Make a better deal.
Well, here's why those two. Thon Maker demanded a trade over the weekend. He wants a bigger role. If you trade him to New Orleans, you probably get that. And I just realized you are for sure hearing the plow in the background. going on outside. Hopefully you're staying warm and while listening to us.
You can hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it in the feedback. The reason I put Middleton in, he has a outside shot to get in the All-Star game. He's having a really sneaky good year this year.
Yes, he has, actually.
So it kind of makes you wonder, he kind of fits the motif of a relatively how can I phrase this right? A movable, enjoyable contract. He's only making $6.5 million over the next course of 2 seasons. And then obviously Thon Maker, he's only making, a little bit north of about $1 million, if you want to get into the math. And obviously I think New Orleans will want more anyway from the Bucks. But you just wonder what they're willing to give up and who they're willing to give up. Because I don't think they'll want to exactly move Brogdon. I don't think they'll want to move Bledsoe. I see those pieces that New Orleans would probably want. So obviously things need to work out there. That's probably the 2 main ones in my mind I think New Orleans would want. So yeah, that's kind of where I stand on the Bucks type deal. Yeah.
So let's talk about what we've learned so far today. We have the Knicks. They want to trade a potential Zion Williamson. We have the Lakers. They want to trade their top piece, Kyle Kuzma. We have the Celtic top piece, Jason Tatum. And we got, Jason Tatum top piece. Kyrie is just who he threw in, okay? Not realistic. Tatum is what they want. And we got Chris Middleton. When you rank about all these, I put Chris Middleton last. Good year.
Yeah.
Put him last. The Bucks would love to make this deal because they could have Bledsoe, the Greek Freaky, and hard to figure out his name, Anthony Davis. That could be a core piece, and you're looking at a potential finals runner-up team right there, losing in 5 to the Warriors. But I think if you're the Bucks, you got to try to figure something out. Maybe they're the team that needs a third team. Maybe the Miami Heat can get involved in it. They need a third team probably. But if you're a Bucks fan, this makes sense. You want to pull the trigger and try to get this guy. But what these other teams are offering, you're going to have to give up more.
Yeah.
Yes.
So any closing thoughts on this deal? We'll always see. By the time we get here, let's do it this way. By the time we get here next week, which is pretty much, isn't the deadline? Deadline's next week I think.
It's the 5th or the 7th.
So by the time we get here next week, is Anthony Davis in a different uniform?
No, Paul. I think we just wasted 25 minutes talking about it. He is not getting traded these next 8 days. No.
I actually,
They're never gonna find
I'm in agreement with you on this.
Okay.
I think this plays in New Orleans' hands better for this offseason because Anthony Davis, and this is a class act, at least on this portion of it from him. He says he'll play out the rest of the way 100%. He will not waver in any way, shape, or form about that.
And if he wants to get traded to the Knicks, if the Pelicans really want that pick, you do not.
Which I don't know. I don't know if you mentioned it. Is unprotected, by the way.
No.
It's an unprotected pick. That means no matter what, it's New Orleans.
Yes. But if you're New Orleans and the Knicks, they might secretly not come out in the media, make a deal where we'll do this at the start of the offseason. Because
that way you
don't want Anthony Davis going on the Knicks and winning some games, making that pick not as valuable.
Yeah.
You want the Knicks to suck as much as you can.
Yeah.
So no way the Knicks make a deal because they're not giving up KP, and they're going to want that pick, and the Pelicans aren't going to want that pick now.
Yeah, I remember the interesting too with the Knicks for this offseason, they do have a max spot for next year.
And Kevin Durant, 3 straight titles.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm saying it. 3 straight titles. Might want out. Kyrie, Kemba, Chris Middleton. I don't think he's a free agent, but. Yep.
Alrighty. So with that in mind, we will shift over to the
dun 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 dun
main event for us. Super Bowl 53, Patriots versus the Rams. We'll give you everything that you probably want to know and everything you don't want to know at the same time.
So I had Patriots Lions. I'm sorry to jump in out. I'm just noticing I was half right.
You were half right.
What happened, Detroit? Back to you, Paul. Just wanted to say it.
Thanks, Nick. Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta hosting. I don't know if you saw, been an interesting couple days already for the NFL. If you are a Barstool person, a stoolie, you had quite the interesting deal overnight. El Prez, Dave Portnoy, and PFT both got kicked out of the whole week of stuff. There's been some controversy with that. Goodell still hasn't said anything publicly about the missed calls. That's still the buzz. So by the time we get the kickoff, hopefully everything will be focused on the game and everything like that. Let's give you a quick rundown of the basics. Obviously, the game will be on CBS. You have Jim Nantz play-by-play, Tony Romo as your caller. On the sidelines, Tracy Wolfson and Evan Washburn. If you're listening on radio for whatever reason, Westwood 1 will be the place you want to go for that. Kevin Harlan is doing play-by-play over there with Kurt Warner, and I did not know this. Mike Holmgren is the other color guy over there with them. And then sideline for them, Ed Werder and Jacksonville Jaguar great Tony Baselli.
And this is at 6:30 on Sunday.
6:30 on Sunday, performing the national anthem, Gladys Knight. It's still announced who will be the honorary official doing the coin toss. Halftime show, Maroon 5 with Travis Scott and Atlanta's own Big Boy. So it'll be a lot of interesting things, a lot of quick notes here for everyone. Patriots are in their third consecutive Super Bowl. They're the first team to do that since the Bills went to 4 straight. The only other team before that in the Super Bowl era to do that was the Miami Dolphins when they went to 3 straight from 71 to 73, which included the undefeated season. Rams, they're on their 4th overall Super Bowl. First one, obviously, since moving to Los Angeles. First one since the greatest show on turf. So this will be an interesting, I think, a very interesting game. Should be a fun game overall. That being said, Super Bowl has a lot of different and interesting stuff. Also, this is Atlanta's first Super Bowl since 2000, when I believe, let me double check here. Right? I believe that was also the greatest. Yeah, that was the greatest show on turf. Kurt Warner.
Versus the Patriots.
No, versus the Titans.
Oh, that was the Titans one. They won the 2-yard line, right?
The tackle, yeah. So, we'll obviously save our predictions for the end of this deal. So, we'll
one quick question.
Go ahead.
Was Media Day last night?
It was. Media Day was yesterday through last night.
I always thought it was on Tuesday.
Today is when Radio Row kind of got going, so.
Well, thanks for answering my question.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so let me scroll through some stuff here for you guys. Get down to the cool stuff. One interesting thing that I kind of like, and it's kind of been highlighted a lot, is the battle between Rams coach Sean McVay and Patriots wide receiver Julian Edelman. These were guys who faced off against each other in college in the MAC conference. McVay was a wide receiver for the Miami Redhawks, and Edelman was a quarterback for the Kent State Golden Flashes. That means they played each other in college. Really interesting stuff there. McVay is from the Georgia area, so that's a cool story for him. He's from the Atlanta area. So a little bit of a homecoming deal.
Did you say Edelman was a quarterback?
Edelman, do you not know that?
No.
Edelman was a quarterback.
Actually, I think I might have, but I don't. I thought I was thinking of somebody else.
So, Nick, let's give the people a little bit of what they want. As everyone knows, the prop bets tend to get a little bit interesting.
Oh, yeah.
For everything here. So we'll start with... We'll go to the exotic ones first. Such as, will James Harden's streak of 30-point games finish first, or will the Super Bowl?
What will happen first?
Yeah, what will happen first?
Oh, the Super Bowl.
Oh, well, that's what you think? Well, Vegas has them both at minus 120, which means they don't know which one it will be.
Really?
Yep. Another interesting deal. For the game. Will Donald Trump attend the game?
No.
Well, if you bet that, you're at minus 650 on the line, plus 375 that he will, plus 500 either way for a fan running on the field. A bunch of other stuff too. How many commercials will run during the Super Bowl? Over/under is at 96. You have stuff as which commercial will appear first? Turkish Airlines or WeatherTech? Expensify or TurboTax? Avocados from Mexico or Planners? Doritos or Pringles? Which, by the way, we'll get into that actually.
Doritos always comes first. That's one of the first commercials.
We'll get into that as well, actually. Which commercial will appear first out of the alcohol category? Bud Light, Budweiser, Stella Artois, Michelob Ultra, or Bon and Viv Spiked Seltzer? I don't know what that last one is.
There'll be a bunch of Bud Light. Enough with the dilly-dillies.
Will Mark Wahlberg attend the game and leave early? We don't know. How many plays will Tony Romo correctly predict? We don't know. This is nuts. Obviously, this is a bettor's paradise type game. A lot of fun stuff on that end. Some other interesting prop bets. You can cross-bet different things, such as Tobias Harris to score more points versus the Raptors on February 3rd, or the longest run during the Super Bowl. Which will be more? How about this? Kyrie Irving, will he score more points on February 3rd, or will Rex Berkman have more rushing yards?
Who's that, Kyrie Irving?
Yep. How about this? Jared Goff, will he throw more yards than Manny Machado's next contract in millions? You never know. Then a bunch of other stuff, too, here. Nick, what will be higher? Tom Brady's completions in Super Bowl 53 or the Knicks win total in 2019?
Oh, Tom Brady's completions. He only needs like 20.
Yeah. And then there's a couple other ones, couple interesting ones. We kind of already said about the... Go ahead.
Here's my take.
Okay.
I am just... Can you please go to this camera? My biggest take is not actually the Super Bowl. It is the Puppy Bowl 14.
15.
15? Well, then I am... Well, here's Carlo on Team Rough. How many touchdowns do you think this guy will get?
Oh, this guy's going to get all the touchdowns and all the pets after the game because he looks like a good boy.
Now, is it the cat bowl, the kitten bowl? Is that a thing?
No one likes cats. There, I said it.
I'll be watching that.
Cats are assholes.
Well, we got a little sidetracked there.
Sorry, yeah. Other interesting prop bets you can do. Specifically, we'll look at the halftime on this one. Such as, will Adam Levine be wearing the hat when he starts the Super Bowl halftime show? What prominent color of Adam Levine's top? Wait a second. What does... Never mind. I don't want to get into that one, actually. How many songs will be played during the halftime show?
10.
Ooh. Well, the over-under, Nick, is 7.5.
Over. He's going to go all out.
Now, this one we discussed a little bit.
Be loved.
Now, this one we discussed a little bit before the show. What will be the first song performed by Maroon 5?
Definitely not She Will Be
Now,
Loved.
the favorite at an even bet right now is Makes Me Wonder.
Yeah.
The long shots, She Will Be Loved and Maps, both at plus 2,200.
I'm going to go Girls Like You.
Wow, really? Well, Girls Like You is plus 900, Nick.
That's just my pick.
I kind of like, I'm going to go, I guess it's a safer bet, but I'm going to go with Moves Like Jagger, I think.
All right.
I mean, I just kind of, I don't know. Maroon 5's weird. It's a weird band for the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know.
I don't know who Big Boy is.
You don't know who Big Boy is? You know the group Outkast, right?
No.
They sing Hey Ya. No. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real.
Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe. But he's Big Boy. Big Boy's
that's
not a
Big
rapper.
Boy. He's half of Outkast.
Big Boy's not a rapper.
He is a rapper.
Oh.
He's half of Outkast.
Oh. He's an outcast.
Yes.
And Travis Scott is he going to be performing a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Not too high on Travis Scott being there. It's just not a good mix.
No.
I'm telling you, when my grandpa watches the Super Bowl, he's going to turn it off.
Now, this one's going to be interesting, Nick. There's been a rumor on the internet.
Oh, you're kidding.
That Squidward is going to make an appearance during the halftime show, which has led many people to believe in this prop bet to surface here in the past couple days. Will Maroon 5 play Sweet Victory as a SpongeBob tribute? And I say, yes, they're going to do it. I hope they do it.
I'm a big SpongeBob guy. Big SpongeBob guy. Favorite character is Plankton. But they're going to disappoint us all.
No.
They're not going to do it.
I hope you're wrong.
Because Squidward is not real, Paul.
Squidward is real.
I wish he was real. Actually, you know what? Squidward's my favorite. Squidward's my favorite, then Plankton. Then Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bubble Buddy.
Bubble Buddy.
But I think they're going to disappoint us all. Disappoint us. And that's my take.
Nice.
That fresh take.
So, we'll move away from the prop bets.
Okay. Good prop bets, though.
But we'll move into another part of the Super Bowl that people tend to love, the commercials.
The commercials.
A lot of commercials have already kind of been teased online a little bit. You had people, if you're a fan of The Big Lebowski, people thought that it was actually a boot to get for a teaser for a sequel, and it was just a Stella Artois commercial. Doritos usually comes off firing during these. Bud Light, I mean, all the beer companies usually do. Budweiser, this is typically their big one where they have something, with the Clydesdales and now the Dalmatian. Car commercials are really weird during the Super Bowl. I saw a movie poster for Planners that has like Alex Rodriguez and Charlie Sheen in it. So, is there a company in particular you're looking forward to, Nick, for the Super Bowl for a commercial?
I hate the commercials. As Americans, we should just grow up. Put the dirty commercials on TV, please. I'm sick and tired of all these commercials getting banned. That's where good comedy is. I know there's a bunch of little kids watching the Super Bowl. Screw those kids. I want good commercials. I'm at this age now. I want funny commercials. I don't want corny. I want good commercials. We want it now, Paul. Will there be a Game of Thrones final season trailer dropping?
So there's been a lot of, not just in the Game of Thrones room, there's been a lot of people wondering because Avengers Endgame apparently is going to have something big too during it.
Stranger Things?
I think you will see not just Game of Thrones. I think you'll see a multitude of different movies / shows that you will see big previews for, I think, this year.
Well, last year,
because
that cloak.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, last year they had that Cloverfield movie drop after the Super Bowl, and no one even knew that was coming out.
It's true.
But maybe they'll do something like that.
Oh, I thought you were going to continue. I thought you were going to continue after this, the way you set yourself up.
No. We're a little off right now. But we got
it.
You got this.
It happens. Yeah, but I think, so I kind of alluded, but, you know, I Avengers, Game of Thrones, obviously Netflix has a lot of money to use right now. I think you'll see, you kind of alluded to Stranger Things maybe. Maybe it just won't be just Stranger Things we see previews for. You know, I don't know. A big talk right now is that Ted Bundy movie they got. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll see something in that regard. Yeah, but commercials, like I said, tend to always be pretty cool. So
how many dilly dillies? Are you sick of the dilly dillies?
No, I'm not sick of it yet because overall the marketing campaign of it is really good. And they don't do dilly dilly a lot in the commercials anymore itself.
As a commercial fan, are we expecting Geico to do something here with all this contests?
Yeah, I think something will happen.
Because the event is over on Tuesday, so I think they're going to do something.
Today's Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Oh,
next Tuesday after the Super Bowl. So I'm thinking they're going to do something for the contest to get more people involved during the Super Bowl. Give them about a couple more days to vote. I think they're going to do something. They have to. What is the point of this? I know it's to find out, but why would they do it a couple days after the Super Bowl and end it?
That's a good point.
Something's going with Geico. Watch out for Geico.
They'll have something there. They always typically do.
Hump day.
I'll ask you this question. What has been your favorite Super Bowl commercial ever?
Ones that just come to mind. I remember I think it was Super Bowl 39. It was the last time I didn't watch it at my house. It was a Bud Light commercial, I believe. And he was on a plane. And the guy throws the Bud Light off the plane. And the guy jumps without the parachute. That was pretty funny. I remember that. That was funny. The Odell Eli, disappointing. I did like the Cardi B one last year with the Alexa.
She's going to make a return this year with Pepsi the way it looked.
I like that. That was funny. What was it? The Justin Bieber Ozzy Osbourne one? I remember that one. I don't remember what it was about. That was pretty funny back in the day, though. I remember that. That was funny. The Justin Bieber line at the end of it. The Dorito ones are always all right. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, those are my favorite. I like the beer one. The beer ones are my favorite. You just got to make it funny. Come on.
So, I got two that always come to mind for me.
Okay.
One is, you know how Snickers always is now about, like, when you're not you and you're hungry type deal. I remember one of the first ever commercials I did for that was during the Super Bowl where Betty White is playing, like, a pickup football player. She gets just leveled. And it was freaking hilarious.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah. Another one last year for me was kind of funny. I can't remember the company off the top of my head, but it was like all the old people have to work because like they don't have enough money out of retirement, and you have like this guy who's like an 86-year-old guy who's a lifeguard in Savannah.
Yeah, that one. They've been showing that one lately.
They have the guy who's the firefighter, and he's just, like out of control on the hose, like he's flying through the air.
Now, I don't know if this is going to happen. Those are funny. I actually saw
that. I have one more. I'll let you finish, but I have one more.
Okay. Not going to say it's happened. This is just all my opinion. But if they brought, I think it's E-Trade. If they brought the E-Trade talking babies back, I would lose my shit.
Yo.
Remember them?
Yes.
They were there in the Super Bowl. They were good. Spectrum Monsters need to make a commercial.
I love the Spectrum Monster. We love those guys.
They need to make a name on Super Bowl Sunday.
My favorite's the puppet.
The puppet, yeah. I love the horn-headed monster guy. But Paul, you had one more commercial you like?
Yeah, so the one, perhaps my favorite is, unfortunately, I can't remember the actor's name. I know he passed away within the past couple of years, but Miller High Life. Remember the big black guy, that delivery guy for Miller High Life commercials?
I know.
And so they like previewed it with like not like a full-fledged commercial. But he goes, "This is about to be the most memorable Super Bowl commercial you ever see here, coming up in a couple minutes. Like, we spent so little money on it that you won't even realize it." And it was like a 2-second long commercial where he's standing in a warehouse with a High Life bottle, and it pops up, High Life, and it cuts out. And I thought it was like the most genius thing ever, because people were talking about it, I remember, for a little bit too.
Like The Sopranos?
No, not quite like Sopranos. I mean, you knew the High Life, it was High Life, you knew what it was about.
Yeah.
Funny you mentioned Doritos. My favorite Dorito commercial recently is the kid who plays the guy off getting his Doritos by saying it's a time machine.
Yeah, that one's good.
And the old guy comes out, he's mad at the kid on his lawn, and the guy gets out, and is like, "Jimmy, you're so old."
That
and
one's clever.
And like kisses him on the head or whatever.
And then there's the bare naked lady one.
Yeah.
That one's all right.
So, should be exciting. Commercial wise, I think that might be it. I think we might be at that time, Nick, where we'll get into our
trying to talk about the game.
A little bit about the game. Obviously, there's not a super ton to talk about because they've been off for a week. We discussed obviously the games last week.
And it's more. We'll have more discussed next week when the game actually happens.
Yeah. So if you want a little bit about the last games they played and
when was the last time
stuff leading up to this game, check out last week's podcast. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
Some key things to look into for this game. Keep your eye on whatever the hell they do with Todd Gurley. C.J. Anderson's been their hot hand for the Rams running the ball. He has the most rush. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but including playoffs since Week 16, he's had the most rush yards and most touchdowns in the NFL by a running back. Should be interesting on that front.
When's the last time they played?
10 days ago.
These two teams played 10 days ago?
Well, 9 days ago.
No, I mean Patriots-Rams.
Oh, the last time they played.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably when they were scheduled.
It's a good question.
4-year stretch there.
That's a good question. I will look that up quick. Last time Rams and Patriots played. And we have absolutely nothing. It's a rematch of the 2002 Super Bowl, but I got nothing on that front. So
probably it wasn't this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is the X Factor?
Ooh, the X Factor. Good question, Nick. I think the X Factor, we got two of them. The kickers, Greg Zuerlein and Gostkowski for the Patriots. Both of them are pretty spot on. If it gets to a close game, either side, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Greg the Leg has been very good this year. Gostkowski been good. A couple trips start of the year. I think both defenses also will be keys. Obviously, I'm giving you a multitude, I guess. Both defenses, though, the Rams were supposed to be really good on defense. They haven't, but now they've stepped up in the playoffs. Patriots always kind of sneak up on you defensively. They're not analytics darling when it comes to defense, but they always get the job done. So be interesting to kind of see what they do there as well.
I'm not going to give my X Factor yet. I think I'm going to say that for my shout-out.
Whoa.
But I'm going to tell you this. This is how both teams win this game. The Rams can win this game. It's very simple. Play Todd Gurley. I don't care about that his toe or whatever's hurting, or whatever's wrong with him. Play him. The man is a beast. There's a reason he was drafted. A lot of fantasy leagues this year, and number one overall. C.J. Anderson, good backup. Give him a couple rushes here and there. But Todd Gurley is your man. He is the difference maker. Not the X Factor. I'll get to the X Factor later. Difference maker. Patriots, for them to win the game, they're going to have to run the ball like they've been running. I think this is a running game. I think if whoever runs the ball better, I think ultimately wins the game. They got a lot of weapons. Burkhead, Michelle.
Sony Michelle.
Sony Michelle. Well, whatever.
This is my trainer, Michelle.
Michelle Burkhead. And whoever you're like, what's his face? Burkhead and I don't care. But anyway, Michelle. They need to run
Jason
the ball.
White.
Oh, James White?
James White.
James White. I wasn't even thinking of James White. It's the
James
other
White.
guy. There's another guy. Rex Burkhead. Doesn't matter.
Danny Woodhead.
Danny Woodhead's on the team?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, there is another guy that's only run the ball like 3 times. He scored a touchdown every time.
Oh, the fullback, Devlin.
Devlin. I forgot all about James White. But Michelle, anyway.
My personal trainer, Michelle.
The Patriots need to run the ball. I think they can ultimately win the game. I mean, they are the Patriots.
So let's dive into that then, if you're going to do it that way. So, who's winning? What's the score? And who is the MVP?
The Rams are winning this football game.
Wow.
Come on, Paul. Come on. I'll be at a friendly Rams environment
That's a good
for
point.
the game. I'm all Rams. I have a Tom Brady jersey, and I have a Marshall Faulk jersey. Here's the difference. The Tom Brady jersey does not fit me, so I'm going to wear the Marshall Faulk jersey.
Does the Marshall Faulk jersey even fit you?
It was my mom's jersey back in the day, so yeah. It's a bigger jersey. It's a bigger jersey. It's an adult-sized jersey.
I hope she's not listening tonight, man.
Sorry, Bob. Not what I meant. People know what I meant. Now it's awkward. It's an adult-sized jersey.
Most of them tend to be, Nick.
It's an adult-sized jersey. That's the reason I'm wearing the Tom Brady jersey. For kids. It's for kids, all right? But anyway, the jersey does not matter.
All right. Hey. Take a breath here.
The Rams are going to win this football.
There you go.
They're going to win this football game with ease if Tom Brady gets hurt in the first quarter.
What's the score?
So it won't be by ease. I think this is going to be a 30-27 win by the Rams. Greg Zuerlein will kick the field goal for the win.
Nice. So who's the MVP?
I'll save it for my shout-out. X Factor will be the MVP.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Stay tuned.
my prediction is I'm with you. I think the Rams win. Here's the deal, though. I think the ball. I'm with Tony Romo on this. Tony Romo tweeted this. I'm with him on this. I think the Patriots will have the ball last. They'll lose, which is really weird. Probably jinxing it for everyone. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go Rams 37. Patriots 26, and your Super Bowl MVP will be Aaron Donald.
There you go, folks. Is he getting a defensive touchdown?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that, but I think he has a really big game. Some sacks.
4 sacks.
Some sacks. Maybe a forced fumble. Oh, maybe an interception.
Big game for Aaron Donald.
You never know.
Yeah.
So
we're all on the Rams.
We're all on the Rams. That has been your Super Bowl spectacular, everything you need to know and everything like that. With that in mind, that will take us to the end of the show for the day. Nick, you alluded to it.
It is a special
shout-out.
So
who is your shout-out? And this is, I guess, your MVP and key person and everything like that.
This is a person I do not know personally.
Wow.
This is the X factor of the game. This is the MVP of the game. My shout-out today, I told you Greg Zuerlein is going to win this game. But this guy is going to get the ball down to the 10-yard line to give Greg Zuerlein a pretty good field goal chance. But this guy will also have 2 touchdowns. I don't know if he'll have 2. He'll have a big game, but he's going to get the touchdown to tie the game. I don't know if he'll have 2, but he'll get the touchdown to tie it, and Greg Zuerlein, he'll get him down there. He'll have a big 40-yard catch to get him down there, and Greg Zuerlein will kick an easy field goal for the win. And this man, been on my fantasy team last year a little bit, got me 0 points during that game. this man will have the MVP of the game. He is my shout out tonight. It is tight end Gerald Everett.
Wow.
You heard it from me first. Gerald Everett is going to
Hey,
make
Gerald
a
Everett,
difference.
thanks for tuning in if you're listening and watching.
Yes. Gerald Everett. You'll remember that name. Good night.
All right. Thanks, Nick. With that in mind, that obviously concludes tonight's show. If you haven't already, you should like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and all the fun stuff. Call in, all the fun stuff. Have a fantastic Super Bowl Sunday, guys. We will catch you right here next week on the Fresh Takes Podcast.